Good morning, and thank you for joining us. On today's webinar, we're going to discuss how Gradelink users like you can streamline your payment acceptance and supercharge your cash flow with PaySimple, who is Gradelink's preferred online payment solution and partner. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to cover some time-saving best practices using PaySimple's complementary supporting features in order to solve your biggest payment pain points. We're going to save you time, reduce your administrative burden, and improve your payment experience for students, parents, donors, and staff. So I'm aware that most of you are pretty familiar with PaySimple. It looks like we've got a lot of users here on the call today, but I would like to introduce PaySimple for those of you who are not quite as familiar. Much like Gradelink removes daily administrative burden for educators and administrators alike with its robust software, PaySimple brings flexible, easy-to-use payments through our solutions that empower customers to spend less time collecting payments so they can really focus their time on their core responsibilities and priorities and overall growth. We serve established-based businesses, including over 1,200 schools and educational institutions, 122 of which are Gradelink users. And they've really come to realize that managing their cash flow is going to help them grow, and we provide the unique variety of payment and billing solutions that are going to help them get there. So in short, we solve immediate electronic payment challenges of today, and then tomorrow, as you evolve and grow, we partner with you to pursue new opportunities and operational efficiencies that you never knew were possible. I will be your host today. My name is Maureen. I've been a part of the customer success team here at PaySimple for 2 years and the product marketing team for 1 year. And in both of my roles, my daily mission has really been to empower our customers to reach their fullest potential, and I do that by sharing best practices for efficiency and sharing best practices for operational automation during the onboarding process, but also throughout the entire customer journey. So I am very excited to dig into today's topic. Here's a brief overview of what we're going to cover today. First, we'll discuss a little bit more about the challenges you're currently facing when it comes to collecting payments. And then we'll dig into some tactical steps using PaySimple's complementary software features to kind of solve those challenges and a little bit more. Then we'll have a Q&A, so feel free to chat in your questions throughout the presentation. We'll address some of those at the end of the call. And then at the very end, we have a special offer to share. So I'm sure many of you can kind of resonate with the notion that you're having trouble taking payments efficiently and it's hurting your cash flow. But I would like to learn a little bit more about what's kind of getting in your way. So let's dig in with a quick poll. All right, so I am curious, what is the biggest challenge your organization is facing when it comes to collecting payments? Are your staff stretched too thin? Are you encountering human error when it comes to collecting and counting for payments? Do you lack a centralized system of record? Or is it inconvenient for people to pay you? Or all of the above? So I'm seeing some responses come in. So far it looks like most of you are facing all of these challenges. And a lot of you are having trouble providing a convenient payment option for your parents, students, donors, what have you. All right, I'll give you all a few more seconds here. So it looks like an overwhelming amount of you are saying all of the above, which is very interesting. I 100% agree. All of these factors really do contribute to wasted time and lost money, and that can be a huge problem, especially if you're strapped for resources or in the nonprofit space. Overhead is a huge, huge contributor to getting things done, and then also having that consistent cash flow as well. You know, when you have overworked staff, they can't focus on their core priorities. They find themselves kind of chained to the desk or on the phone, coordinating when parents can come drop off checks or cash, and then they have to physically deposit them at the bank, which can take a lot of time and focus away from core responsibilities and priorities and students. Human error comes into play when handling cash and checks. especially if multiple parties are involved collecting those cash and checks, and it can lead to unaccounted payments, lost payments, and all of that compromises cash flow and accurate records. When you are using multiple systems or processing payments through different merchant accounts or just using different processes to collect cash and checks, it's going to waste a lot of time. It's very chaotic, and it can be risky as well. Working out of multiple merchant accounts or having multiple parties kind of handle those checks and cash can compromise your organization's good standing with a merchant account, and it can potentially expose your students' and parents' sensitive data to people who might not have the best intentions. And then lastly, you have to make it convenient for people to pay you. If you're already collecting payments from very busy parents, they're likely at work during the day, and it can be a challenge and lead to a lot of chasing overdue payments. When you make it convenient for people to pay you by accepting all payment methods, which PaySimple can do, e-checks, debit, credit, cash and check, in person at events or on campus, or 24/7 online, you are much more likely to get paid. The solution for all of your payment challenges is really incorporating PaySimple into your existing workflow. Krista Morley, who's the Customer Success Manager over here who manages the Gradelink PaySimple partnership, can really attest to this. She says, it can be time-consuming to collect donations and sell tickets to events. I've seen Gradelink users increase their school's revenue by up to 34% and save hours of time by using PaySimple's complementary features to collect these sorts of payments. Gradelink PaySimple users do collect payments in person and online for a myriad of items, including tuition and fundraising, donations, things of that nature, but they're also collecting payments for trip registration, supplies, ticket and event sales, yearbooks, cap and gown, concessions at sporting events, you name it. Then they have all of that itemized payment data organized in one place, which is really, really helpful. They know where all of their funds came from and how they should be handled moving forward. And again, this is done just by implementing PaySimple into your existing workflow, which has already been lightened up quite a bit by the Gradelink software. So let's get into how that works. First, we'll start off by going over our complementary in-person payment solutions. Now we have a quick pay option, which is an easy way to key in or swipe a payment and collect with PaySimple via your desktop or any mobile device. And how you do that is by logging into PaySimple, and you'll see that there's a point of sale option. And you can do that, like I said, on your computer or on the mobile application, which is free for Apple and Android devices, phone, tablet, what have you. You just click on or tap the default Quick Pay one-time option, enter a quick amount, and then complete the checkout process, which is relatively intuitive. The option then to send an automatic branded receipt will be available at the end of that checkout flow. And like all in-person payment features, you can accept debit, credit, and bank account information. You can also collect cash and check payments like you probably already have been, but you can log them through the software for consistent record keeping and to generate payment receipts for those customers or parents as well. One thing that is really great about point of sale and the quick pay option is that you can use them to collect registration fees. And that can be done during the admissions process, especially if you're using Gradelink SAS with the Enroll Me add-on. Many of customers have found this so successful that they would use PaySimple for that feature alone. It's truly an out-of-box payment solution for in-person payment acceptance anytime, anywhere. And now, as you can see here, you can actually customize point of sale quite a bit more to your needs. We've got some concession items here that you might be selling at a fundraising event, a sporting event. You can also have ticket sales, in-person donations at fundraising events as well. Point of sale allows you to accept all of those payment types like we mentioned over the phone and on your mobile devices. So anybody can really log in if they have credentials, which is great, especially if you have multiple people collecting payments, but it will all go through the same system. It also has secure data storage, so you can access customer payment information stored on file for fast and easy checkout. Think like you have a fundraising event or You know, an in-person event where maybe somebody doesn't have cash on hand or they forgot their wallet, if they're already an existing parent who's paying tuition or donating through the software, you can actually pull up their payment information on file and process a payment that way. It's super convenient. You can send them a receipt. That being said, we are a PCI compliant software, and also your parents can go log in online, same with donors, to our online customer portal, which is a secure self-serve portal, update their payment information at any time. Now when it comes to customizing your point of sale, we have this thing called the catalog, and that is where you can set up all of your offerings and their prices and details and images in one place, and then you can use those throughout all of our solutions. And once those are created, they're available for checkout in the point of sale. So they'll just appear for you to easily click, add to the cart, and complete the checkout flow. And what's great about that is you can add multiple items to the cart. It'll total them up. If you have taxes or associated fees, it will automatically process those and add them in for you. Some benefits of utilizing the point of sale in a more customized manner is that it allows you to itemize payments so that you know what's tuition, what's fundraisers, what's events, and that way you have those detailed reports. You can set up custom payment plans and billing schedules, which can be helpful. We can accept recurring payments. All flexible payment options, which really opens up the opportunity for people to pay you, and your cash flow is going to be stronger. You can work across all different types of devices for mobile and tablets as well as desktop. So if somebody comes in and needs to make a payment to you in the office, you can just open up the computer, or you can pull out a mobile phone and do it that way out in the field. For any type of payment, you'll be sending automatic itemized receipts, and they'll be to donors, parents, and students. That will save a ton of time on paperwork. So of course, in-person and over-the-phone transactions save a lot of time and they'll increase your cash flow and efficiency, but offering the online payment options in addition is a really secure and reliable way to be available for payment acceptance all the time, round the clock, 24/7. That way, when you have parents and students or donors who are super busy, they can make payments anytime, anywhere that's convenient for them, and it doesn't have to be during school hours necessarily. So rather than remembering to call into the office or making time to drop off a payment in person, they can actually just hop on their computer or mobile device when they have a few moments during the day, and then the payments will actually automatically deposit into your account. So it's saving time on both ends. They're not having to coordinate dropping off payments. You're not having to coordinate when you're going to go deposit those payments. First up, we have our online store, and as you see here, we have a little example of an end-of-the-year store where we're selling various items in one place. Yearbooks, cap and gown, diploma cover. You can also have an option for a one-time donation, recurring donations as well. So PaySimple's online store is really a favorite among our Gradelink users. It's an online digital storefront that allows you to showcase and collect payment for all offerings in one sleek, branded, intuitive interface. And you can set up an online store just in a few simple steps. You don't need to have any coding knowledge or any developer support. And if you're feeling stuck, you can always give us a call. We have an award-winning customer experience team. They'll pick up the phone, walk you through in a few short steps, and you'll be good to go. So much like the point of sale, once your catalog items are created, you can just simply drag and drop them into your online store. And once you click Save, it's going to generate a custom URL for you. And that can easily be linked to your website. You can share it on social media platforms and Facebook groups, blog posts, email marketing campaigns, really displayed in any written communication as well. And this allows you to be open for payments 24/7, meaning you can literally collect payments while you sleep and they're going to automatically deposit. You're going to be generating more revenue outside of school hours, and it's going to be around that time, around those times that people are more likely to pay you because it's convenient for them. Like I mentioned, an online store showcases all of your offerings online, which is kind of like free marketing. It's going to attract prospective students, donors, all of the above. Offering e-commerce with this plug-and-play out-of-box solution really allows you to be open for registration and fundraising all the time, but also independent of a website, because you can really share that URL anywhere. But you can also link it to your website. However, if your website's under construction or anything like that, you can always still have the solution up and running, cash flow coming in all the time. And again, it'll allow your parents, students, donors to make payments for multiple items at once. It will still itemize them out. It's really ideal for fundraising, especially like we have here in this end of year school tour. They're already in there buying a yearbook, they're capping down. They might want to make a one-time donation as well. It's a great way to just give the option. If an online store is more than you need, or you already have one, and you just need a simple way to collect payments online, you can try a payment form. They're a really easy way to accept payments and optional custom information for a single item at once. So once you have a catalog item, you can just simply convert it to a payment form, which will then display and collect information and payment for whatever item you're offering. That can be a tuition payment, a donation, a single yearbook order. It can also be used for registration for events. Like here we have an example of a kindergarten field trip sign-up form. So not only are you collecting payment for that particular trip, it's also an opportunity to share some more details about the trip and collect updated information related to the trip, perhaps emergency contact information, dietary requirements, things of that nature. So again, this will create a shareable link for you. You can put it in your emails when you're maybe talking about this upcoming event, parent Facebook groups, pretty much anywhere you can share a link, even via text. It's really just another great way to empower parents, students, donors to kind of make payments through that easy to share web link. Just not quite as complex as an online store, but you can still get paid even when the office is closed. A lot of people will share the payment form in emails, on invoices, social media, during registration or donor drives. Also really great to follow up after fundraising events to maybe those who couldn't attend. Also great for collecting that extra student information like I had mentioned, and it can be reported on later. Our other and final online payment solution is our Buy Now button. And by placing this Buy Now button on your website, it allows your students and donors to pay in fewer steps without leaving your website experience, which is really a nice experience for somebody going to make you a payment. A lot of payment gateways like PayPal or Square, they offer you the option to embed a button on your website for the Buy Now instant make a payment purpose. But most of those will take you to a third-party site once clicked, and this can be a little bit disorienting, especially for those who are kind of nervous about making online payments as is, and they might abandon their payment. By embedding a PaySimple Buy Now button or Donate Now, which is how most people in the education and nonprofit space are using this feature, you allow your donors and parents to pay you directly from your website 24/7. It's going to ensure a streamlined payment experience for everybody involved, and you'll kind of continue to build trust and security with that consistent branding and the reliable technology. Another great way to save time internally for staff, so you can really focus your priorities on what matters, is through our reporting and insights features. Two I'd like to highlight today are our QuickBooks Online integration, which is free through the App Center on the left-hand side of left-hand panel on the left-hand side of your PaySimple account once you log in. You can save time, reduce costly errors, and kind of ensure more accurate record keeping by streamlining your PaySimple and your QuickBooks accounts. And that, comes back to having one consistent place to look for all of the same information. It's going to keep you organized and make everything feel a little bit less chaotic. We also have our robust reporting feature. We do, in PaySimple, generate detailed and customizable reports that will show you, for example, which money is for tuition payments versus which money came from donations. Some reporting ideas that might be relevant would be, for example, a field trip attendance list with emergency contact information that you can print out and bring with you or pull up on your mobile phone. You can have a fundraising event summary, much like this example here, where you can kind of see how successful the event was, how many people attended, what kind of items were sold, how many people donated in person. You could also pull a donor contact list, which would pull all of your donors who donated through your Donate Now button, in person, over the year, create a contact list and maybe send them an email blast thanking them for supporting you. Other ideas might be a school supply sales list by student. I mean, really the possibilities are endless. If there's a report you want to generate within PaySimple, that can most likely be done. All right, so when it comes to building a better payment experience, to kind of wrap things up here for your students, for your parents, for your staff, for your donors, for everybody involved, trust and convenience are really what's key. And here are a few stats that are kind of going to support why. So one, chasing payments takes a lot of time, as I'm sure you can all relate to. On average, 30 minutes or more per overdue balance. And when you think about how many overdue balances can happen just from people being busy in their day-to-day lives, that adds up quite a bit. So when you add in some automation and convenience for parents and students and staff alike, there's going to be a lot less to chase. So definitely important there. 80% of consumers prefer credit and debit cards. This really comes into play, again, when adding convenience at your fundraising events or your donor drive efforts, because people aren't walking around with a ton of cash in their pockets, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to give. When you make it easy for them, they're going to donate more. They're going to spend more. Just offer them the convenience of accepting your credit card or debit card payments. And then lastly, 90% of the U.S. makes at least one online purchase per month. And that doesn't necessarily relate just to, Amazon Prime purchases or online shopping necessarily. Most consumers have come to expect the ability to pay bills online, make donations online. So that could be tuition, things of that nature, and offering that online convenience and then being able to trust that you provide that is really going to make their lives a lot easier, and it's going to lead to a lot stronger cash flow for you. Now we've touched quite a bit on convenience, and they can obviously, convenience and trust can be built really with all of the features we covered today, but I'd like to focus a little bit more on trust in this part of the presentation. Utilizing PaySimple's complementary payment features builds trust in a lot of different ways. One of which is PCI compliance, or PCI DSS, which stands for Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. And what that is just a widely accepted set of policies and procedures that were designed to not only optimize credit or the security of credit, debit, and cash card transactions, but it's also designed to protect your cardholders against the misuse of their personal information. In this digital age, we know there are a lot of, security threats out there, and we really take it very seriously to build a cloud-based platform that takes on that PCI compliance for you. Secondly, you really want to have a system that you can trust will just handle it. So whether it's auto receipts or auto deposit, detailed reporting, an intuitive online, or in-person payment solution, it's not going to be confusing or a burden to accept or make payments for anyone involved anymore. PaySimple users really appreciate having a reliable payment system that prevents them from having to use staff resources. And from a cost perspective, that obviously lowers overhead. From a security perspective, that's going to limit access to financials and sensitive information. And of course, it allows all of you to focus on what really matters, which is what you're there to do every day, and that's be with your students. And lastly, you can really lean on us for support. So if you have questions, you can pick up the phone, and call our real people over here in Denver, and we'll be happy to walk you through any questions or concerns you have. And of course, we do have an online help center, which has a ton of easy to follow guides and resources for you. So before we reach the end of our presentation, I would like to address a few questions as they come in. It looks like we've gotten several so far. I have a few here that I would like to start with. Let's see. Okay, can I allow a donor to select what their payment is for? For example, do you want to donate to the scholarship fund, the foundation fund, or the new library fund? Yes. So you can easily report on and itemize anything you collect payments for through the PaySimple system, and that will be through creating items in your catalog. So you can categorize those, and obviously you name them differently. So for example, you can create an item for tuition payment and then an item for a donation payment. And then you can collect even further details with custom fields like we saw in our payment form. And those custom fields would allow you to collect additional relevant information that can be pulled into reports. So one thing you could do is create a drop-down selection box, and then you can have it be labeled like donation designation, and then they can select where they would like their funds to be placed. You can also have a checkbox to say, for example, I don't want to be recognized publicly for this gift. And any of those details associated with the payment will obviously pull through into your reporting, but it will also appear on the customer receipt, which is particularly handy for individuals who need proof of donation at tax time. That'll save a lot of paperwork as well. Okay. What if we have donors who give on a regular basis? Can we set up a recurring giving program through PaySimple? Yes. You can set up recurring billing schedules through any of PaySimple's payment solutions. So that could be point of sale, in person you can set up recurring giving, online, via online store, payment form, buy now, any of those. They are really great because they're flexible, so you can collect ACH or credit card or debit card recurring giving. They're automated, so really it's just set it and forget it. That cash flow will come in every month. The donor doesn't have to think about it. You don't have to be thinking about it. And it's a really nice, consistent stream of predictable revenue. All right. Can parents keep multiple payment methods on file? Yes. And I did mention briefly about our customer portal. They can not only keep multiple payment methods on file, but they can go in and update those at any time. So, in fact, it could be ideal at the beginning of the school year, maybe during registration, to capture a default payment method from your parents, and then it could be used for necessary student expenses, obviously with authorization throughout the remainder of the year. This could be really great for like school trips, supplies, things of that nature. But yes, multiple payment methods can be kept on file. And if you do have a credit card on file, the system will actually automatically remind the parent to update it when it's getting close to its expiration date. All right, I think that's about all the time we have today for questions. Please feel free to reach out to us with any others. We are more than happy to help. Before we wrap up, I would like to just briefly mention that as a thank you to all of our existing Gradelink PaySimple users, and then a welcome aboard to those of you who are interested in adding PaySimple to your Gradelink workflow, please keep an eye on your inbox, not only for the recording of this presentation, but for a special offer. So, ways to get started. For those of you who are existing PaySimple account owners, just log in today. We actually enabled all of these features for you within your PaySimple accounts free of charge. And be sure, if you haven't already, to download the mobile app in the iOS or Android app stores. And then if you would like further guidance on how to add PaySimple to your workflow and you want to take advantage of all of these complimentary payment features, that kind of already support the automation that has been brought to you by Gradelink, you can always follow the link here, which is just visit paysimple.com and click the sign up button at the top right-hand side of the screen. And of course, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to our award-winning customer care team. We're based here in Denver, Colorado, and we are more than happy to answer any questions related to the product or setting up an account. So please give us a call.